So let's be very clear as to what is happening right now. The first thing and the main thing is that right now the United States is being asked by many countries and by people here in the US to do more. However, President Biden has been very inactive, not doing a whole lot for the American people as of lately. And many world leaders are saying that they cannot count on him anymore. So, we're going to break down what's going on. This is very interesting and somewhat scary because now we are hearing from multiple experts saying that the American people will feel the pain very soon. I will explain what's going on and why you should be concerned with this at this time. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So before I get into the news that right now the American people are not being prioritized and that other countries are being prioritized over us here on US soil. Before I get into that, I first want to talk about what happened this morning. Okay? This morning, we learned that another vessel has been attacked in the Red Sea, just off the Yemen coast. This is according to US officials, and they are blaming the Houthis. Now, why does this matter? This matters because other world leaders, other countries, are blaming the United States, saying that because of our inaction, many ships are being attacked. People all across the world are being attacked because we have decided not to step up. Well, that's interesting because earlier on today, we did learn that one of President Biden's motorcade got hit by an oncoming car. Yes, as he was getting into his vehicle, another car was hit. Yeah, these attacks aren't just happening across the world. Now we're seeing people are trying to get to President Biden himself. So hopefully he steps up and he answers to some of these calls, because Pentagon officials have said that they have given him multiple scenarios, multiple different attack options, and he's chosen the least effective one every single time. Now, I want to show you this. BP, okay? The oil giant BP becomes the latest to pause Red Sea shipments as Houthi attacks continue. Now, this isn't the biggest concern that BP decided to just pause shipments. Here's the concern. The concern is this. Shipping giants MSC, Hapag Lloyd, CMA, CGM, and Maersk all announced suspension of travel through the Red Sea following all these attacks. So that's concerning. Okay, we got 4 major shipping giants, and now BP has all decided to just stop all shipments. That's concerning. But look at this. This is according to the editor-in-chief of Lloyd's List. They said, you are going to see some fairly seismic activity in terms of the implications for supply chains. Right before the holidays is not the time to see really any supply chain crunches. And leading into 2024, huge concern. Because right now we are still facing some supply chain issues because of the pandemic. And now this could just make things even worse. But what is concerning about all this is, where is the United States, right? Well, here's what we know. As of this morning, the U.S. warship, the USS Carney, responded to an attack on commercial ships in the Red Sea. Okay, we know that. They're there. However, just because they're there doesn't mean they are attacking anybody. They're shooting down drones, shooting down missiles as they come in. Which brings up the question, why hasn't the United States struck back after these Red Sea anti-ship attacks? We know who's doing it. It's the Iranian-backed Houthis, right? We know it's coming all out of Yemen. But why are we not on the offensive? Why are we just being defensive and waiting for these attacks to occur? Well, this is where things get interesting. It's because of the election. President Biden does not want any election repercussions. He doesn't want to go and attack an Iranian-backed group just to go and see Iran attack additional troops, because we are less than a year away from the presidential election. President Biden knows that. The Biden administration understands that. And this is why many believe President Biden is not going to be helping him or helping the American people. He will only be helping himself. That's why we're not going to see these attacks. That's also why, at this time, President Biden, because one of the biggest issues right now that we are facing in the world and that the United States continues to talk about is what is going on in Israel. What is going on between Israel and Hamas? Well, people of Gaza are losing their lives. They're losing their livelihood. They're not eating, right? Their health is just deteriorating. But that's only one fight that President Biden is trying to fix. The issue is he has $110 billion on the table for Ukraine, Israel, and for Gaza. That $110 billion is being wrapped up in border security. That's another problem. Now I want to read you this, okay? Because Senator Bernie Sanders, he's pretty much saying President Biden is not handling this war with Israel correctly. Because Senator Bernie Sanders called on President Biden this past week and told him he need to cut $10.1 million in military aid to Israel. Okay? $10.1 million in military aid to Israel. Because he argues the destruction of Gaza has surpassed the U.S. firebombing of Dresden and the Japanese cities in World War II. So Senator Bernie Sanders is simply saying what many people across the world are saying is, why do we continue to fund Israel when they are pretty much destroying Gaza and taking the lives of innocent people? Well, again, it's because of this election that's coming up in less than a year. The repercussions of potentially not sending money to Israel. How does that look? If we don't send money to Ukraine and Russia wins this war, takes over Ukraine, now they're closer to NATO countries, well, does President Biden, is he the one left holding the bag? Some are saying yes. But this is where they say Americans are about to feel the pain because of what he is going to do. This week, the Senate is back in Washington. They are going to negotiate and potentially vote on a bill to send about $100 billion to Ukraine, to Israel, and to Gaza. In that $100 billion package, there is likely going to be provisions for additional border security. Well, now what we're hearing is that President Biden is scared, or he's fearful that this is going to blow up in his face because he is now seeing the blowback from Latinos and the Progressive Caucus. What we now know is that the border security provisions that they're going to talk about this week, that they negotiated yesterday, and we'll get updates on this as well, but people are concerned that Republicans are the ones that are driving this car. And if Republicans are the ones driving this car, trying to get the additional border security, there's a good chance there's going to be asylum limits. There's going to be people that are already in the United States that are going to be asked to go back to their home countries because we just can't afford to keep them here in the United States right now. There has to be changes made. There's going to be changes to border security as far as border agents. There's going to be more hired. They're going to be more restrictive as to who they're allowing into the United States. Again, a lot of things. But this is where the Latino community is stepping up and saying that President Biden better not agree to any of this, because if he does, they will not vote for him. But we got other reports that say if we don't get a handle on our immigration problem and we do not put a stop to thousands and thousands of people coming into the United States illegally, is going to pretty much cause the United States to be overrun. Now, here's something I just want to point out. One of the big issues that we're facing right now is the cost of goods, cost of housing. One of the things, and I thought this was very interesting, somebody said on maybe it was Fox News or CNBC, one of the two. They said that the illegal immigrants coming into the United States are taking all of the affordable housing for the American people. They're buying up all the housing. Now they completely, they completely botched that. Okay, because illegal immigrants are not coming into the United States and buying up all the affordable housing, right? The cheaper homes. How are they going to buy a home? A $400,000 house, how's an illegal immigrant going to come in and buy a home, right? Legally. Can't do it. It's almost impossible. Here's what's happening. I just want to point this out because, again, President Biden isn't helping here. We are seeing the cost of affordable homes, apartments. These are, 2, 3, 4-bedroom apartments, whatever, maybe a single bedroom, whatever. We are now seeing illegal immigrants coming into the United States. They're partnering with other people, potentially like a 2-bedroom home. They're going to get 2, maybe 3 people inside that home, inside that apartment to rent it. So instead of one person, let's say one person here in the U.S., a U.S. citizen, renting that home, maybe a senior. They can't afford it. But you get 3, maybe 4 people in one apartment, it's much easier to rent. So this is what's happening. And this is one of the things that people are talking about is, well, illegal immigrants are coming into the U.S. They're getting some free goods, right? They're getting shelter. They're getting food. They're getting some health care. They're getting that because we're not turning any people away. But that's also limiting what's out there for the rest of the people. Again, I'm not saying people need to be sleeping on the streets and eating nothing, but at the same time, that's what many governors are concerned with. For example, in Illinois and New York, they're saying that their state is pretty much depleted of all their resources because of all the people that have been coming into the U.S. So, I just wanted to point this out that right now experts are saying that the American people are going to feel the pain very soon, and President Biden is not going to be there to help. He is not trying to help the American people at this time. He's trying to help other countries. In turn, helping other countries in the future may help us here in the U.S. So, that's where we're at this time. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Also, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.